why did China win the EV war? Right now, Bank of America has even come out to warn the 3 major American car manufacturers to hurry up and bring their factories back home as quickly as possible, because producing cars in China definitely won't be successful. So, did China really win on its own? Yeah, I can confidently say they really did win, at least in this era. And if you don't watch this video until the end, you won't get the whole story. Thank you so much to everyone for following my channel, Sai Money Monster. Every bit of support, every like, every share, every comment, I read them all and they really fulfill me. Of course, there are some negative comments too, but take it easy, okay? And if anyone watched and felt like, wow, this is really fun, thank you so much for watching all the way to the end. If you'd like to support my channel, you can do so through this QR code right here. The income I receive goes toward encouraging my team to produce even better quality videos and making information more accessible. A lot of the information we share actually costs money to get, and your support also motivates me to keep writing more fun content for every episode. Or even if you just share, watch until the end, send some encouragement, or subscribe, that alone already makes me really happy. Thank you so much. Let's keep going. Do you know just how much money is actually in the automotive industry? According to data from Company Market Cap, the global automotive industry is worth as much as a staggering 2.3 trillion US dollars. And the countries that have long dominated this industry in the world are the United States, Japan, and of course, Germany. But then, out of nowhere, China suddenly appeared and in just a few years managed to become the dominant player in the car market. And not just any cars, but electric vehicles, EVs too. Honestly, for those companies still making combustion engine cars, a lot of them have already packed up and called it quits. If you ask me, I'd even dare to say that China has already won the EV war, hands down. And that's despite the United States declaring a trade war and putting up all sorts of barriers against China, blocking EVs 100%. Europe is about to do the same. That's because China can produce batteries more cheaply. Not just cheaper, but the cheapest in the world. And it's not just a little cheaper either. We're talking about 50% less. The most important component in an EV is the battery, since the battery alone accounts for 40% of the total cost of an electric vehicle. Ford has already released an electric pickup truck, but it didn't sell very well because Ford's EVs actually ended up being more expensive than Ford's gasoline cars. And other EV models in the United States are priced at around $55,000, or about 2 million baht, which is just too expensive for an EV. The scary comparison here is with Chinese EVs, which are much cheaper. So in 2023, Ford tried to find battery manufacturing plants in the United States. They found locations in Virginia and Michigan, which allowed them to produce batteries at a lower cost. But even then, they still couldn't beat the prices of Chinese battery manufacturers, specifically CATL. CATL is not only the biggest battery manufacturer in China, but also the largest in the world. And it's not just about being the biggest, they also produce batteries at the lowest cost in the world. This is exactly the weapon that has allowed China to dominate the EV market. But this is far from being the final chapter, because China's ability to produce cheap batteries in the year 2023 is really just the beginning. When it comes to global trade wars, whoever holds the most power has a chance to win, right? But if we're talking about a price war, this merchant named China has historically never lost a single battle to anyone else before, thanks to its long-term strategy of achieving massive economies of scale and production efficiency. From 2023 up until now, over the past year, the price of lithium iron phosphate, or LFP, in China has dropped dramatically. And when I say beautiful for China, I mean the price of lithium carbonate, which used to peak at 600,000 yuan per ton in 2022, but now has plummeted to just 100,000 yuan per ton. With raw materials this hot and on sale, you can imagine that the finished products being sold will also get cheaper. This significant shift has caused the price of Chinese EV batteries to drop to an incredibly low $53 per kilowatt hour. while the average price for EV batteries sold globally remains much higher at $95 per kilowatt hour. China knows very well that being able to produce EV batteries at such a much lower cost than the rest of the global competition is like wielding a powerful and sharp sword that strikes right into the heart of the EV market. And the price of these batteries hasn't decreased significantly naturally or because demand has gone down. It's dropped because of extensive government support for technology and development, which is certainly no secret to anyone, and because of close cooperation between the government and private companies to produce batteries in much larger quantities and with even better quality. To the point where the companies that manufacture batteries are willing to reduce their profit margins. You can see from this chart that the profit gap for EV batteries over the past year has been narrowing more and more. This is what has made battery prices drop even further. And the reason why these companies or factories are willing to do this is because they can lower their profit margins isn't for any complicated reason. It's simply because if they cooperate with the government and reduce their profit gap, they'll just get richer, that's all. China doesn't really have the power to sanction or boycott other countries the way the United States does. But when it comes to trade wars, China has made it clear that they'll fight with everything they've got. They started by targeting foreign car companies operating in China. Even the United States isn't safe. Bank of America even came out and announced to the 3 major American car manufacturers operating in China that they would move their factories back home as quickly as possible. Those companies are General Motors, Ford Motor, and Stellantis. That's because trying to manufacture cars and compete with China in the Chinese market just isn't working anymore. China can produce batteries at a lower cost, which means they can sell EVs at even lower prices. Let's look at these prices. In 2019, combustion engine cars made up 84.1% of the market and were cheaper than EVs. At that time, EVs hadn't developed much yet, right? But today, the price graph has flipped. Now, only 35.8% of combustion cars are still cheaper than EVs, while 64% of EVs are now cheaper. They're now all cheaper than gas-powered cars. And it's not just that. They also get government subsidies. The government supports consumers, whether it's with down payments, loans, or tax breaks for EV users. They really want to encourage people to switch to EVs, right? So there's hardly any reason left, or maybe just a tiny reason, for people to still want to buy traditional combustion engine cars or those older, more expensive foreign gas cars. But can I tease Chinese EVs a bit? Chinese EVs are seriously cheap. So cheap that it's like, if you buy early, you save more. If you buy later, you save even more. Or like, hey, if you buy later, you finish paying it off sooner. Chinese EVs really make you want to joke about it. And since Chinese EVs are cheaper and made domestically, that's caused foreign combustion engine cars to lose market share in China. For example, take General Motors and their sales in China. General Motors sales have been stumbling since 2017. They used to sell as much as $2.1 billion in China at their peak, but most recently, General Motors only managed to sell $446 million. That's a 4-fold drop. And when it comes to the trade war in the EV industry, some people think China would only be able to dominate within its own country, especially since the United States, for example, has imposed tariffs on Chinese EVs. With a 100% tariff, there's no way China could compete anymore. As for Europe, it's actually the biggest market in the world for Chinese EV exports. But now, Europe has to follow the US's sanctions policy. Originally, Europe charged a 10% import tariff on Chinese cars, but now, because of the sanctions, they're raising it to 38.1%. China said, hey, that's too much. We're trade partners. Can you lower it a bit? But Europe replied, all right, we'll lower it for you, Europe said. We'll bring it down to 37.6%. That's all the EU can do. That's it, no further negotiation. China responded, okay, no problem, I understand. I get that you don't want to embarrass your number one customer. You want to save face for your top spender, right? China said, it's fine, I'll handle it myself. See, Europe really is China's number one customer. Just look at this graph. The black line represents Europe. They buy more imported cars from China than anyone else, more than Asia, which is the pink line, and more than the Middle East, which is the blue line. Let's move on to the next point. This move made China pull off a bold play, cutting right through the middle to shake hands with the Turkish government. They signed a contract to build a BYD factory worth $1 billion in Turkey, so they can manufacture BYD cars there and export them to Europe without paying a single euro in import taxes. That's because the EU and Turkey have an agreement that exempts these taxes. All customs duties between them are completely eliminated and waived. And with this backdoor strategy from China, it means Chinese companies are able to manufacture BYD EVs and export them to Europe without facing any additional trade barriers in huge quantities without having to worry about sanctions from the United States. But after this, who knows if there will be any new regulations coming out. So to sum up this video, it's an update explaining that China has already managed to win the EV war in this era. And it's not just Europe and the United States, definitely not. Right now, even Thailand is feeling it, because whether it's combustion engine assembly plants or auto parts factories, whether it's wheels, spare parts, you name it. Parts from combustion engine cars just can't be used or installed in EVs. So these factories have to either adapt, change, or shut down completely. And if you ask whether it hurts, yes, it does. Many Japanese car manufacturing plants in Thailand will have to close down. Now, do we still have a soft spot for Japan? I personally do, a lot actually, because historically, the Japanese automotive industry that's set up in Thailand has been a part and an important part that has supported our industry to grow and develop. But today, I'm just sharing that, hey, this is the reality we're facing now, and we have to accept it. This is a crucial set of information showing that we really need to adapt. Now, we have to look at what we can take from these events that could benefit us. Why has China been able to rise up and become number one in the world like this, pushing its competitors right out of the ring? Are you curious? I'm curious too. So I did some research, and I'll be sharing an in-depth look at exactly how China managed to become the number one trade rival of global superpowers. Make sure to hit follow and check it out here on the Sai Money Monster channel.